3. So today we are going to be reading a book called Franklin is Bossy. Some of you might have seen this character before, but some of you may have not, and that's okay. This character is Franklin. It was also a show. MsDumbuy'a really liked to watch this show and read these books growing up. And today this book is being read with permission from Scholastic Publishing Company. Okay. Franklin the turtle could zip zippers and button buttons. He could count by twos and tie his shoes. He had lots of friends and one best friend named Bear. They played tag and marbles, hopscotch and ball. But one day, something awful happened. Franklin and Bear had a fight. It was a steamy summer morning. Franklin told his friends, "Let's play marbles." And they did. After a while, Franklin said, "I'm tired of marbles. Let's have a race." "You always pick the games," grumbled Bear. Franklin paid no attention. They started to run. Bear was in the lead. Goose followed close behind. Franklin saw that he was losing and cried out, "Slowest one wins," as he crawled across the finish line last. "That's not fair," said Bear. Franklin ignored him. "I'm tired of running. Let's play baseball." Bear did not put on his mitt. He did not put on his cap. He was mad. "It's too hot. I don't want to play," said Bear. "Me neither," said Beaver. "It's not too hot," said Franklin. "It is too," said Bear. "It's not," said Franklin. "I don't want to play with you, Franklin," shouted Bear. "And I don't want to play with you either," Franklin shouted back. Uh-oh. It seems like they might have a problem, friends. I wonder how they're going to solve it. Franklin stomped all the way home. "What's wrong?" asked his father. "There's no one to play with," answered Franklin. "Maybe your friends will come by later," said Franklin's father. "Maybe." Look at Franklin's face. He's not feeling very happy. In his room, Franklin built a castle. He made a cape to be brave in. He made shields and swords and suits of armors. He drew pictures. He played house. He read stories. He played by himself for 1 whole hour until he didn't know what to do. So Franklin went looking for company. His friends were in the river cooling off. "Are you still hot?" he asked. "No," they answered. "Then let's play ball," said Franklin. Before anyone had a chance to say a word, Franklin started giving orders. "Bear, you play first base. Goose and Beaver, you go to the outfield. I'll be the pitcher." "No way," shouted Bear. "I don't want to play with you. You're too bossy." All of Franklin's friends nodded. "Bear's right," they said. Franklin turned and went home. Franklin wasn't being very nice, and his friends didn't want to play with him. I wonder why his friends didn't want to play with him when he wasn't being very nice. There was no one to play with and nothing much to do, so he helped his father all afternoon. They weeded the garden and washed the floors, and they made supper for Mole because he was sick. "You're a good friend, Mole," said Franklin's father. On the way home, Franklin asked, "Do you and Mole have fights?" "Sometimes," said his father, "but we always make up." I wonder what Franklin's going to learn about making up with his friends. Franklin played alone for another whole day. He missed Bear and all of his friends, and he had lots of time to think. He would go to Bear and apologize. Franklin and Bear met on the bridge. "I was going to go to your house," said Franklin. "And I was going to go to your house," said Bear. "I'm sorry," said Franklin. "It was all my fault." "No, it was my fault," said Bear. "Mine." "No, mine." Seems like they're trying to solve their problem. I noticed that in this picture, Bear and Franklin are walking towards each other so they can make up, so they can be friends again. Let's keep reading to find out what happens. Stop! Shouted Beaver, who was listening under the bridge. This is silly. Beaver slapped her tail so hard that Franklin and Bear jumped. They started to giggle. Friends, asked Franklin. Friends, said Bear. They made up. I noticed that they made up and now they don't have frowns on their faces anymore. They have smiles, which means that they're feeling happy. Beaver wanted to play baseball. Bear and Goose and Duck agreed. They were picking teams when Franklin insisted on being the pitcher again. All together, his friends shouted, "No fair, Franklin!" Franklin knew they were right. He couldn't always be pitcher. It was his turn to play in the outfield. And it wasn't so bad, for although Franklin didn't catch a single ball, he did catch lots of flies. Wow, Room 3 friends, this was such a great book about making up with your friends when you get in an argument. Because friends, we're always going to get into fights sometimes with our friends, but that's okay because we can always make up with them. Sometimes we can say, "How did I make you sad?" Or "I'm sad because," or "I didn't like it when you," or "Maybe next time we can try." There are many different ways that we can make up with our friends so that we can be happy like Bear and Franklin. So I want to know, how do you solve problems when you have a problem with a friend or a sibling? How do you solve problems when you have a problem with a friend or a sibling? I can't wait to hear how you solve problems with a friend or a sibling. See you next time.